Alright, let's talk about what you will need for this course. Obviously, you'll need a tennis stringing machine. There's a drop weight machine, a crank or a lockout machine, an electronic constant pull machine. We'll talk a little bit about the differences between the machines in another video, but a drop weight is the least expensive machine. It'll take a little bit longer to string the racket, but it's the least expensive. Electronic constant pull is the most expensive, but it also can be the most efficient. The tools you'll need for this course, the good news is most tennis stringing machines that you buy will come with these tools, but if you don't already have them, you will need these in order to string a racket. You will need 2 floating clamps. Many tennis stringing machines, especially the more expensive ones, will already come with 2 fixed clamps that are already on the machine. If your machine has that, you do not need the 2 floating clamps, but if your machine does not have the fixed clamps already attached to it, you will need 2 floating clamps in order to hold the tension in the string. You will need a starting clamp. There is a way to string a racket without a starting clamp, but the way I will show you includes the starting clamp, and it is always great to have that handy because you will be needing a starting clamp eventually if you do string tennis rackets. You need small long nose pliers. This will be used to feed the string through the grommets at times, as well as to pull string through the grommets. So make sure you have small long nose pliers. You will need string cutters to cut out the string, as well as to cut the string after we tie the knot and cut the string when we measure it. So you will need string cutters. I've seen people before use like toenail clippers, and that'll work fine. Just make sure you have a tool that we can use to cut out string. Scissors usually will not work. You need something to actually clip the string itself. You'll need an awl. Again, not every stringing job will require an awl, but if you're going to string tennis rackets, it is great to have that handy in case we need to widen a grommet. So it's always great to have an awl handy as well. You'll need a tape measure or a ruler to measure out the string before we cut it. Whether it's 1-piece or 2-piece stringing, we will need something to measure the string. You will of course need tennis string. I'll talk a little bit in another video about the differences in tennis string, but you will need tennis string. If you buy a package of tennis string, it comes with 40 feet, which will be enough to string a racket. If you string professionally like I do, you will buy it in reels. It gets cheaper over time to buy it in reels, but you will need tennis string. And of course you need your tennis racket. Make sure it's in good condition. If any racket has a crack or is a damaged frame, it's unable to be stringed because we will be pulling significant tension on the racket. So you will need a tennis racket in good condition for this course.